The topic of our today's lecture is the analysis of images, videos, and geolocations. Let's start with images. The first thing to do when you find a picture of a person is to upload it in one of the search engines. We know that Google, Yandex, Bing, and TinEye search by text, but they have an additional function, an image search. Before showing you the functionality, I'll talk about the differences all these search engines I mentioned, and the picture you can see the main differences among them. If we need to search by face, Yandex is the best option. And if, for example, we need to find the address of the office by the picture, we upload it in Google. Another way to use these search engines is to upload a company logo and see which sites have mentioned it. TinEye and Google are the best options for such needs. Why do we need to search by company logo? We may find the contractor who drew this logo or the conferences the company has been to. If you have a picture in poor quality and we want to examine its details, we can upload it into TinEye. It will find other identical photos and perhaps they will be in higher resolution. The last one to talk about is Bing. It makes sense to upload pictures in it if you have a suspicion that they were edited in Photoshop. We can upload such pictures in Bing and get the original images without graphic distortion. So now we will go through the tools that I talked about in a little more detail. The first one is the Yandex search engine. It is used to find pictures of people from Eastern Europe. And the picture you can see my colleague Inna. We took a photo from her Facebook profile and uploaded it into the search. What did we find? A review about a vacuum cleaner she bought, an old contactee profile with photos from her vacation, and a photo from a student party she'd rather not remember. The next case we found in the media. Here is the former governor of one of the Ukrainian cities. The journalist took his photo from a government site and found old pictures using Yandex image search. It turned out that he was photographed naked on a bed with a Versace sheet, performed at a Russian show, was looking for a bride and even starred in an underwear commercial. The article turned out to be critical for his career. The official was fired a couple of months after publication. The next service is PMICE. It works the same way as Yandex, however, it searches better if you need to search for people from Central, Western Europe and also from the US. Unlike Yandex, it is a paid service. However, the results you may find will fully pay for this price. This kind of work is the same. We upload a photo and find pictures of people from various sites. This example shows one of the Ukrainian journalists. By taking a photo from her Facebook profile, we found her interviews and all the events where she got into the photographer's frame. This is necessary not only to find some compromising evidence, but also to optimize your work. Instead of googling a person's name for a long time, we immediately get all the videos or interviews in one place. Now we're moving again to Eastern Europe and talking about the Find Clone service. It is used for the search specifically on the contactee social network. By uploading a photo of a person, it will find not only the profile, but often the most interesting thing. That is, photos in which the person was tagged, even if these photos are not on his or her profile. Accordingly, you can find all the photos of a person from a party in which his friends have tagged him. The next thing I'd like to talk about is Facebook search capabilities. If you enter a car identification number into a Facebook search, you can find all the photos that show a car with this number. For example, we take the number of James Bond's car, enter it into Facebook search, and get all the pictures with the James Bond's car. Here is a specific case from my own practice. We took the car number of one of the Ukrainian deputies, searched it via Facebook, and saw the post of a person featuring a deputy's car parked on the lawn. You probably know about such services as Flickr, Getty Images, and Reuters. One of the options to use them is to go to the photographer's account and see all his or her pictures. The other is to enter the person's name and see all the pictures in which he or she tagged. This most often works with diplomatic events, since photographers are required to sign pictures and hand them over to security service. Here is a specific example found in the process of analysis of one US politician. We took his photo from his personal profile and with the help of Flickr found the events he attended. The next service I wanted to talk about is aimed at optimizing work processes. It's called Photo Tracker Lite. All the links can be found in the file with the list of software attached to the lecture. We upload a picture and it immediately searches through all the systems that I mentioned earlier. For example, if we upload a photo of the constellation, it will find more pictures with constellations in Google Images, Yandex, Bing, and TinEye. conveniently since it takes only one click instead of 4. So you have already learned how to analyze images, search by them, and optimize your work. To achieve results, you just need to practice. Now I will provide examples on what I managed to find using all these methods. In the picture, you see several dozens of people with driver's license. In Ukraine, Instagram social network is very popular, and when people get their driver's license, they often use it to boast of their achievements. Most often, they use a hashtag. For example, I got driver license 2021. By typing such a hashtag into the Instagram search bar, we get a selection of personal data for a group of people. 2 more cases. One of our customers paid a contractor several $100,000 for digital marketing services. The contractor did half the work and disappeared. Our client sued. We helped him collect evidence. We tracked down a fake Instagram account of a contractor and found out that he had posted the picture with a Lamborghini, pictures of him being near a mansion in Andorra, and pictures with girls on yachts. All information backed by notarized screenshots was transferred to the court. Our client sued his money. Here is another example. You may thought that the girl in the photo just takes a selfie in the elevator. However, in Ukrainian realities, IT companies are often searched by governmental officials, and more often than not, the owners of these businesses do not understand how the company office was found, since they are doing their best to hide because they are trying to hide. How do law enforcement authorities work? They take all the pictures from the social networks of employees, look through the photos and run into the photo from the elevator. By the number of the pressed button, they understand on which floor the office is located. According to the elevator model, they Google all business centers that have such an elevator and find out the address of the office. If they find the pictures featuring the window view, they can easily find out the particular office and on which floor is located. Now that we've talked a little about fun, let's get back to the boring theory. With experience, you'll understand that theory helps us find a lot of useful information. The next software is Invid Verification plugin. This service allows us to download videos and split them frame by frame. Afterwards, it looks for the frames in search engines by pictures. Most often, Invid is used to check fake news. I'll provide a concrete example. Several years ago, when France witnessed artificial yellow vest protests, the local media was running the video on how the migrants beat a man in a hospital. But if you upload this video to Invid, split it frame by frame and Google it by pictures, you will be able to make conclusions that, in fact, Russian propagandists used the video made in their own country. It actually shows a drunk man from the city of Veliki Novgorod who came to the hospital and beat a nurse. Next, we'll talk about geolocation. Services that are commonly used to determine geolocation are Google, Yandex, Baidu, Here, Bing, and Wikimedia. Virtually each of them has a feature called Street View. Most often you use Street View to plan your vacation. However, it provides additional options. It can be used to find the address of the company. One of our clients ordered for an analysis of a competitor, the US rocket company. The client was interested in how much the company earns and how much money they spend. One of the items we need to calculate the correct P&L is the money that is spent on office rent. We saw the company's post on Facebook, which says that they moved to a new office. They didn't provide the address of the new one, though. It's impossible to calculate profits and loss if we don't know the cost of a new office rent. We were methodically looking through the profiles of employees and found an HR manager who had posted her run using the Strava service. If you are acquainted with the Strava service, you know that the users can go to the person's Strava service profile and see the route this person was running. And coincidentally, the woman's route started at the place of old office was located and her destination point was a building of the new office. In such a way, by examining her route, we managed to find out the new address of the office. Next, we used Street View, found the building of the new office, and it matched the picture posted by the company on Facebook. Knowing the address of the company, we found out the cost of a square meter in this area and calculated how much the company pays for rent. And then there is a cherry on top. We found a new legal entity the company indicated while executing a lease agreement. Another service for identifying geolocation is Satellite.pro. By inputting a point on the map, you get an overlaying Street View image from all the services I mentioned earlier: Google, Yandex, OneStreetMap, and Apple. There is a top-notch case of the Bellingcat team when they have identified the geolocation by a picture from the social network which featured a plane that had crashed earlier. The team managed to identify geolocation by matching the Street View images from the site of the crash. The next service is Google Earth Pro. Essentially, it is similar to Google Maps, but is a desktop version. The main difference is that you can view archived satellite imagery of the Earth. Our next case is about coal. Ukraine is rich in natural resources. One of our clients wanted to get an analysis of a mine he was about to buy. He needed to find out if the mine was flooded by groundwater. Physically, he couldn't come to the location and the decision had to be made quickly. We used Google Earth Pro, viewed all the images and found out that there was water around the mine, so it was flooded. The client cancelled the deal. By spending several $1,000s on our services, he saved millions. A similar case was in the analysis of another rocket company. We needed to understand the pace of construction because the company was saying they were about to launch their rocket. The company fed our client promises saying the rocket is about to fly any minute now. However, if you input the location of the construction site in Google Earth Pro, you can see that nothing has changed in 3 years. A rocket may probably be able to fly, but there is nowhere to launch it from. We are nearing the end of the lecture. Let's finish the theory and talk a little about funny cases. In Ukraine, some security organizations make money by searching companies and then demanding ransom. Thus, it's important to watch what your employees post on social networks. For example, one of the employees posted on Instagram a photo of a flip calendar which says, "Today I'm a hard-working lemur." But if we zoom in this image a little closer, we can see that the calendar is placed on some legal documents, namely non-disclosure agreement. And by zooming in the image even more closer, we'll be able to see the name of the legal entity with which this agreement is signed. Our next case also concerns employees' posts. Employees recorded a video in which they congratulated the company on its birthday. They were walking from one office room to another to record a video congratulations of each employee and then posted all of them on the company's social account. So, for example, having entered the accounting department, they put a paper horse on the constituent documents of an offshore company from Cyprus. Incidentally, that was a legal entity through which the company profits were laundered to evade taxes. Another case is public. In the image, you see an Instagram post of the Prime Minister of Australia. He finally went on vacation and posted pictures of his plane tickets. However, the problem was that he didn't blur the barcodes. If we enter this barcode in the website of these airlines, get into his account. The account contains his personal phone number and address of residence. Quite risky information as for the Instagram of the Prime Minister of Australia. Well, the last case, we're returning to rockets again. The company posted on Instagram a photo of the assembled rocket. If you download it in full-size format and zoom in on the details, you can see the serial number and find out the legal entities of the contractors. What's the big deal? It turned out that the contractor is actually from Iran, and this is quite a risky thing as for a company that makes orders for the US Department of Defense. The topic of image analysis is now completed. I recommend paying close attention to visual content in the research process. It contains a lot of valuable information.